beer exhibition at Earl's Court.
Yes, let's. Her remarks will be delicious.
She'll mimic all the people for us when we get home.
Ripping.
Men. Men. Ah! Men.
We return to Higgins's laboratory at midnight. Let's watch what Higgins and Pickering discuss after returning from a night on the town.
I say, Pick, lock up, will you? I shan't be going out again.
Right. Can Mrs. Pierce go to bed? We don't want anything more, do we?
Lord, no.
Oh, I say, Mrs. Pierce will row if we leave these things lying about in the drawing room.
Oh, chuck them over the banisters into the hall. She'll find them in the morning. She'll put them away all right. She'll think we were drunk.
We are slightly. Are there any letters?
I didn't look. Where the devil are my slippers?
Well, only circulars and this coroneted billet doux for you.
Oh, moneylender. Oh, Lord, what an evening. What a crew. What a silly tomfoolery. Oh, they're there, are they?
Well, I feel a bit tired. It's been a long day. The garden party, the dinner party, and then the opera. Rather too much of a good thing. But you've won your bet, Higgins. Eliza did the trick and something to spare, eh?
Oh, thank God it's over.
Were you nervous at the garden party? I was. Eliza didn't seem a bit nervous.
Oh, she wasn't nervous. I knew she'd be all right. No, it's the strain of putting the job on through all these months that has told on me. It was interesting at first, but, while we were at the phonetics. But after all, I got deadly sick of it. If I hadn't backed myself into it, I should have chucked the whole thing months ago. It was a silly notion. The whole thing has been a bore.
Oh, come. The garden party was frightfully delighting. It was so exciting. My heart began beating like anything.
Yes, for the first few minutes. And then, when I saw we were going to win hands down, I felt like a bear in a cage, hanging around doing nothing. The dinner was worse, sitting gorging there for over an hour with no one but a damn fool of a fashionable woman to talk to. I tell you, Pickering, never again for me. No more artificial duchesses. The whole thing has been simple purgatory.
You've never been broken in properly to the social routine. I rather enjoy dipping into it occasionally myself. It makes me feel young again. Anyhow, it was a great success, an immense success. I was quite frightened once or twice because Eliza was doing it so well. You see, lots of real people can't do it at all. They're such fools that they think style comes by nature to people in their position, and so they never learn. There's always something professional about doing a thing superlatively well.
Yes, that's what drives me mad. The silly people don't know their own silly business. However, it's over and done with, and now I can go to bed at last without dreading tomorrow.
I think I shall turn in too. Still, it's been a great occasion, a triumph for you. Oh, good night.
Good night. Put the lights out, Eliza, and tell Mrs. Pierce not to make coffee for me in the morning. I'll take tea. What the devil have I done with my slippers?
There are your slippers. And here, take your slippers and may you never have a day's luck with them.
What on earth? What's the matter? Get up. What's wrong?
Nothing wrong. With you. I've won your bet for you, haven't I? That's enough for you. I don't matter.
You won my bet? You? Presumptuous insect, I won it. What did you throw my slippers at me for?
Because I wanted to smash your face in. I'd like to kill you, you selfish brute. Why didn't you just leave me where you picked me out of? In the gutter. Oh, you thank God it's all over, and then now you can throw me back again there, do you?
The creature is nervous after all. Whoa, how would you? Claws in, you cat. How dare you show your temper at me? Sit down and be quiet.
What's to become of me? What's to become of me?
How the devil do I know what's to become of you? What does it matter what becomes of you?
You don't care. I know you don't care. You wouldn't care if I was dead. I'm nothing to you, not so much as them slippers.
Those slippers?
Oh, those slippers! I didn't think it made any difference now.
Why have you become going on like this? May I ask whether you complain of your treatment here?
No.
Has anyone behaved badly to you? Colonel Pickering, Mrs. Pierce, any of the servants?
No.
I presume you don't pretend that I have treated you badly?
No.
I'm glad to hear it. Perhaps you're tired after the strain of the day. Will you have a glass of champagne?
No! Thank you.
This has been coming on from you for a few days. I suppose it was natural for you to be anxious about the garden party, but that's all over now. There's nothing more to worry about.
No. Nothing more for you to worry about. Oh, God. I wish I was dead.
Why? In heaven's name, why? Listen to me, Eliza. All this irritation is purely subjective.
I don't understand. I'm too ignorant.
It's only imagination, low spirits and nothing else. Nobody's hurting you, nothing's wrong. You go to bed like a good girl and sleep it off. Have a little cry, say your prayers. That will make you comfortable.
I heard your prayers. Thank God it's all over.
Well, don't you thank God it's all over? Now you are free and can do what you like.
But what am I fit for? What have you left me fit for? Where am I to go? What am I to do? What's to become of me?
Oh, that's what's worrying you, is it? Well, I shouldn't bother about it if I were you. I should imagine you won't have much difficulty in settling yourself somewhere or other, though I hadn't quite realized you were going away. You might marry, you know. You see, Eliza, all men are not confirmed old bachelors like me and the Colonel. Most men are the marrying sort, poor devils. And you're not bad-looking. It's quite a pleasure to look at you sometimes. Not now, of course, because you're crying and you're looking as ugly as the very devil, but when you're all right and quite yourself, you're what I would call attractive. That is, to people in the marrying line, you see. You go to bed and you have a nice rest and then get up and look at yourself in the glass and you won't feel so cheap. Oh, I dare say my mother could fix you up with some chap or other that would do you very well.
I love that at the corner of Tottenham Court Road.
What do you mean?
I sold flowers. I didn't sell myself. Now you've made a lady of me and I'm not fit to sell anything else. I wish you'd left me what you found me.
Hush, Eliza! Don't you insult human relations by dragging all this cant about buying and selling into it. You needn't marry the fellow if you don't like him.
What else am I to do?
Oh, lots of things. What about that old idea of the florist shop? Pickering could set you up in one. He's lots of money. He'll have to pay for all those togs you've been wearing today, and the hire of the jewelry. That should make a big hole in £200. Why, 6 months ago, you would have thought it the millennium to have a flower shop of your own. Come, you'll be all right. I must clear to bed. I'm devilishly sleepy. Oh, by the way, I came down for something. I forgot what it was.
Your slippers.
Oh, yes, of course. You shied them at me. Oh.
Before you go, sir,
Eh?
do my clothes belong to me or Colonel Pickering?
Well, what the devil use would they be to Pickering?
He might want them for the next girl you pick up to experiment on.
Is that the way you feel about us?
I don't want to hear anything more about that. All I wanted to know was whether anything belongs to me. My clothes were burnt.
What does that matter? Why need you bother about that in the middle of the night?
I wanted to know what I may take with me. I don't want to be accused of stealing.
Stealing? You shouldn't have said that, Eliza. That shows a want of feeling.
I'm sorry. I'm only a common ignorant girl. And in my station I have to be careful. There can't be any feelings between the like of you and the like of me. Please, will you just tell me what belongs to me and what doesn't?
You may take the whole damned household if you like, except the jewels they're hired. Will that satisfy you?
Stop. Please. Here. Will you take these to your room and keep them safe? I don't want to run the risk of their being missing.
Hand them over. These belong to me instead of to the jeweler. I'd ram them down your ungrateful throat.
No. This ring isn't the jeweler's. It's the one you bought me in Brighton. I don't want it now. Here. Don't you hit me!
Hit you! You infamous creature! How dare you accuse me of such a thing? It is you who have hit me. You have wounded me to the heart.
I'm glad. I've got a little of my own back anyhow.
You have caused me to lose my temper. A thing that has hardly ever happened to me before. I prefer to say nothing more tonight. I'm going to bed.
You'd better leave a note for Mrs. Pierce about the coffee. Or she won't be told, but